So this is 2024 year-end gear review. This is everything that I used this year, what's good about it, what's bad about it, what I didn't like. Some stuff was new for 2024, some stuff I've been using for a couple years. Also going to talk about what's changing, a couple things that have to change going into 2025. So we'll go over that. Alright, so this was my system for saddle hunting all of 2024. So the backpack is a trophy line plateau pack. So I throw it on, has a chest strap, has a waist strap, pack was really comfortable. 2024 for me was really trying to get down to a minimalist style hunting, taking in as little as I could. So everything I carry in, I carry out. Everything I need to get up in the tree is right here. Let's start off by weighing this whole package. There's a couple things that aren't in here. Don't have a rattle bag, don't have a grunt call, don't have extra layers. This is just the basics, get in and hunt. I only carry a grunt or a rattle bag certain times of the year. Let's see what this is. $24.29 pounds. Alright, let's go over some of this. We'll start off with just the basics, what I use to get in the tree. These are climbing sticks. These are the Hunting Beast Sticks Mini. These are their 20-inch sticks with holes. These were new for 2025 or 2024, and I have been very pleased with these sticks. Last year I was using some Hawk Heliums. I went to these this year. There are lighter sticks on the market. I could go plastic, I could go carbon. I wanted a metal stick because I wanted a stick that would last a long time. These are all metal, no moving parts, solid, they pack up good. They're really light for metal sticks, and they grip the tree better than any stick I've ever used. Most of the time I only carry 3. If I knew I was going to be hunting really low, I'd carry 2. I don't think I carried 4 at any time this year. One thing that I do have to change on these sticks moving into next year is the straps that these come with. These buckle straps are really good. They're just not very long. I need a couple of probably like Amsteel daisy chains next year, really long, because there were several times this year that there was a tree I needed to get in that I either had to double these straps up to get into, or I just couldn't get into it all. And you know, a couple extra feet on some Amsteel daisy chains may have got me up there. The way I package these, I don't run any stealth strips or anything. I may start next year. I use bulk shock cord. Just tie me a loop. It's basically just a bungee. Wrap it around the button. Have it fitted for 3 sticks. Put it around there, and then that's how I package them. And they clip right on the edge of my sticks. So these sticks were great. Really like these. Next, I've been saddle hunting this year and for the past 3 years. So I bought a tethered system a couple years back. Tethered lineman's rope. Double carabiners with a Ropeman 1 mechanical Prusik. No complaints. Been absolutely amazing. This is my saddle. This mess of fabric is my saddle. So like I said, 3 years ago I started saddle hunting. I bought the Tethrd ESS. That's the Eberhart Signature Series. I don't believe they make those anymore. I don't believe they sell them. This is a 2-panel saddle. Two-panel saddles have pros and cons. There's things that people like about them, things they don't. One of the bigger complaints of a 2-panel saddle is it's not made to put on at the truck and then walk to your stand. I don't put this on until I get to my tree because the 2 panels will separate. Sometimes even when climbing, there's little tricks you have to do to keep the panels from separating. But then once I'm in the tree, you have a lot more adjustability with a 2-panel saddle, whether you want to sit, whether you want to lean, try to find that comfort range. This is the only saddle I've ever used, so I don't really have much to compare it to, but I haven't had any things go wrong with it. I may not have been the best user for it sometimes, but overall, you know, this wasn't bad. I didn't love it. This is one of the things that I am changing going into 2025, but I'm going to do a separate video on that, but no issues with the saddle. And then when I get in the tree, I'm running this is a tethered cis hauler that I have strapped to my tethered Predator pack. This just carries extra ropes. I've got my tether. I carry an extra carabiner just in case I ever have to use it for anything. Also, again, using a Ropeman 1 mechanical Prusik, so that way it makes adjustments on the fly easy. Again, no issues with this. It's been great. Platform. I'm running an old school tethered Predator standard size, not the XL. Weight was a big concern to me, and definitely didn't want the extra size. I started off using a ring of steps. I think it was a Cranford strap ring of steps, and had its pros and cons too. There were times where the thought of getting around the tree 360 degrees was great, but that thing was pretty heavy, all metal steps, rugged, solid as a rock. So I ended up going to this most of the time. This thing's been pretty good. I know they're like 5 generations deep on this right now, but even this original, you know, every now and then I have to tighten up some hardware. But for the most part, this platform's been pretty good. Okay, and then once I'm in the tree, I'm running a tethered hiss strap. So this is a strap that goes around the tree, hooks on right there, tighten it down, adjust to any tree size. You can also girth hitch it through here if you want to. And then you hang different carabiners, S-beaners. This is actually my bow holder. It's a Hero clip. Use that, no issues with that. It works good. Been happy with that. Alright, saddle hunters, knee pads. If you lean the whole time and you stay standing on your platform, you don't need these. But all it takes is 1 or 2 hunts sitting or trying to sit in a saddle and get close to that tree, and you realize your knees are in trouble. These are some pretty cheap Amazon knee pads. They did the job. For the first year I had stealth strips on the front because this is kind of a hard plastic. The stealth strips started coming off, but for the most part they were pretty comfortable. One knock on these, and I know they're cheap, so it's hard to complain about them for lasting a couple of years as cheap as they were. Just the adjustment straps are hard to adjust in the tree, but like I said, they've lasted 3 years. I think I paid $25 for these on Amazon, and they've done their job. Alright, like I said, I was going minimalist, so I don't have a lot of gear in here, but one piece of gear I don't go into the woods without, unless I forget it, is my rangefinder. I have missed a deer before because of a range issue, and this right here is a cheapie off Amazon. AO4 is the brand. I've had this for a couple years, but this is one piece of equipment that will be getting replaced in 2025. Couple of issues I've had with this rangefinder. The biggest problem for me with it is on really cold mornings. I go get in the deer stand and this thing don't work. It won't give me a reading. If it's below 40, it's hard to get readings out of this thing. I have to wait till it comes up. A couple times I had to stick it under my clothes to try to get it warm, to try to get some ranges to see what I was going with. Another issue is I don't believe this is a very accurate rangefinder. I believe it's repeatable. It gives me the right measurements, and my bow is sighted into this rangefinder, so it works. But I did shoot with a buddy this year who had a nicer, more name brand rangefinder, and I was 3 to 4 yards off several times on him. But like I said, my bow is sighted in with this, so when I do go with a new rangefinder, I don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll have to sight my bow in for that rangefinder probably. All right. Next pocket. So, as a mobile hunter, I always have a small tree saw with me, and one of the things I probably use more than anything is just a pair of small pruning shears. I like the small ones, and you have to be careful depending on where you're hunting. Certain regulations allow you to not trim anything. Certain regulations may allow you to trim branches under 1 inch. So just be careful, but I always go into the woods with a small saw and pruning shears, and I use these more than anything. A lot of times just to set up for my bow draw, I may have to trim a couple little small twigs. These are really quiet. These are so much quieter than this saw. But there are times when you need the saw too. So I always carry both. Between the two of them, it's not a lot of weight, but gotta have them. I carry extra batteries for my headlamp. Never know when that's going to go out. Speaking of headlamp, it's right here. This is a Ozark Trail Walmart special, but it has lasted 2 or 3 years and done a really good job. Has a red light, has a real low beam white light, and does have a little bit higher beam white light. I really like going in and out with that red when I can and getting set up with that red. And then sometimes when I'm coming out and I'm out of my area, I'll swap to that white light. Haven't had any issues with this, but with its age, I probably will be getting another one this next year. I may look to go up in a little bit of quality, but I do want to still look for that red light feature. Another thing I always carry in my bag is just a utility knife. This is a buck 112, very similar to a buck 110. I carry a buck 110 sometimes. I have a kill kit that if I shoot one, I'll go get that has a caping knife, has a skinning knife, has gloves, has all my stuff to really get to work in. But if I'm in deep, and maybe if you know the animal I shoot runs in the direction I have to go to get to my kill kit, I have a knife right here that I can get the job done with. Carry a pen. Always carry a pen or a marker so you can fill out your tag. Texas Parks and Wildlife require you to tag your deer before you move it, so got to do that. All right. In addition, combination with my climbing sticks, this is my aider. This is a piece of 1 inch nylon webbing tied with a water knot. Water knot's a really strong climbing knot to just make a loop. I measured this thing out to where I just throw it over the top of my stick. This can be my first stick. I carry it up with me, carry it down with me. I don't really love the permanently attached aiders, and this thing's been great. I've never had an issue with this thing. Only issue I've had with it is dropping when I get to the top of the tree. But fortunately, when I'm climbing down with a lineman's rope, I don't always use this when I'm coming down. I can just kind of put my foot on the tree and just scrape down to the next step. But going up the tree, this has been an awesome aider, and I have no plans to change this style. I may make an extra or make a new one just so I have some new webbing, but overall, this little nylon aider is awesome. Alright, now we are at the most hated item I have for 2024. And the sad thing is, it's one of the cheapest items in my bag. I've used it for 3 years. I've yet to replace it, and I've hated it every single year. So you never know. You may see this back in my bag in 2025. For some reason, it keeps hanging around. I have no idea why. I cuss this thing every year. This has probably been the best year I've had with it, because I've had to take extra precautions to make sure I don't run into problems with it. But here we go. Bow rope, pull-up rope. I bought this 3 years ago. This is just a standard pull-up rope. Got little small carabiners. One of the carabiners don't even work, so I have to tie a knot with it on the way around. This thing gets knotted up every time I go up and down the tree. It gets wrapped around my steps, gets caught in every branch. Half the time, I'm lowering my bow down, and it's so knotted up from when I pull it up, I can't get it all the way to the ground. So I have to pull my bow back up, pull out some of those knots, and get it back down. I have to perfectly wrap this thing every time I use it. I cannot stand this piece of equipment. So, number one goal for 2025, new bow rope. Got a buddy that just uses straight paracord, has a lot better luck than I do with this. Maybe go into that. Face mask, always keep a thin little face mask. Set of gloves. Most of my gloves I run with my thumb and my forefinger cut. Helps when I need to check my phone. I've been doing some filming with my phone this year, so having a bare finger to be able to start with my phone helps. So I may run a set of gloves with all the fingers cut this year or next year. Just being able to use some of the other fingers on the phone, especially since I'm filming with it, helps out. Will help out a lot. So, but that's just basic face mask and gloves. Okay, what else do we have? Alright, camera arm. This is my camera arm. This is a Beast Gear, same company as my sticks, Hunting Beast camera arm. I don't love it as much as I have loved my sticks. I will say though, this is probably more of a user error than an equipment error. It does take extra time to put on. I'm running a small rig fluid head on here. It's got mud all in it because I run this on the bottom of my pack. Sometimes when I set it down, it gets mud in it. But I will be honest with you, there were times this year where I didn't go in the woods with this because I got tired of having to put it up and take it down. That's one of the things that led to me moving to my phone. I get better footage with this, and given the opportunity to shoot a deer, this is probably going to give me the best footage to be able to have that shot. So still going to use it next year, going to get it cleaned up, and see how things go. Like I said, this is a trophy line plateau pack. The reason this is new for 2025. Haven't had many issues with it. I bought it knowing I was going minimalist, but I still felt like I didn't have enough room, even when I kept trying to cut down and cut down and cut down. The reason I wanted this pack is this skeleton is a fanny pack style body with straps, and then I attached the Predator platform pack, and then I attached my his strap. This way I could set my sticks on top, platform in here, ropes in here, and be able to go in and out. So this was a big improvement from how I was going in last year, but I think there's going to be some changes made going into 2025 that's going to completely revamp my system. So this was all the gear that I used day in, day out for 2024. I'm going to do a different video for bow and arrows, broadheads, and then also a different video for clothing, for stuff like that. Really only a couple of things for that, but all in all, this is how I felt about everything. The number one things I got to change is the rope and the rangefinder. Those two right there, not a fan of them, not happy with. Everything else did its job. Like I said, definitely making some changes going into 2025. They're a little bit bigger changes, changes my whole system. But all in all, you know what? Hold on. This is my grunt call for 2024. Has been for the past couple years. Can't stand this thing. It's a Primo's Primo's Rut Roar. It's got a snort wheeze tube on it. Here's the issue. I get up in the tree. This thing right here falls off all the time. I look down and it's laying down in the tree below me. I'm trying to pull it out of my bag one-handed. It gets loosened up. This thing falls out. Not happy with this at all. This is changing as well. Can't stand it.